All right, let's get into the Redskins here. The injury situation seems like it's always something with the Redskins. As JP points out, other teams have injuries too.
Right.
Not saying we're any worse, but this is certainly going to hamper the team. Anytime you lose starters like that on the offensive line, you've got Trent out, and who knows how long he's going to be out. Moses is uncertain. They had to sign 3 new guys off the street yesterday. What kind of impact do you think this has on the team?
Well, it's going to have a lot, especially losing Sheriff. I mean, he's a two-time Pro Bowler. As Jay Gruden describes him as probably the best pulling guard in the league. And, Sean Laval doesn't get a whole lot of props because, he has some ups and downs, but he's solid. And just the fact that, okay, you're not just losing him. You're not just losing, Sheriff. You've got Trent out. You got Morgan Moses that's day-to-day. And the fact that this offense, the only thing that was working consistently for them was the run game. And the run game, yes, it's a running back, but it's 5 guys working together on that line, like a fist is what Bill Callahan will tell you. And so now you've got new guys put in place there. It's really going to test the quality of their depth and their coaching, but somebody that just came off the streets is going to have to start for them, and that's a really, really scary situation when you think, okay, can they really expect that Adrian Peterson is going to be as effective? And Alex Smith does not have the speed and mobility that we've seen in past years, it doesn't look like. And so is he going to have enough time to get anything done? It's going to be difficult for the Redskins, unfortunately, because it just looked like they were getting things figured out to win the way that worked for them, and then now they just get socked in the gut here with losing 3 starters.
Looking back on last season, what was the word on Alex Smith? It seemed to me as just a casual fan, people were talking about how he was having one of his best years, but a lot of people now,
Right.
halfway through the point, are saying, looks like Andy Reid pulled another fast one on the Redskins. Of course, traded away Donovan McNabb, and now it's Alex Smith.
Yeah, but, you have to remember, Alex Smith is not bad. He's not out of shape and, deteriorating physically as fast as Donovan McNabb did, but look what he had to work with last year. He had amazing speed. He had talent at a wide receiver, tight end, running back. And look at here. Who's his freaking wide receivers he's got to throw to? Yeah, he's got Adrian Peterson as the running back, but that supporting cast last year in Kansas City is head and shoulders better than the supporting cast you have here. Even though, Jordan Reed, I don't know what the deal is with him this year. He does not look like the same type of guy.
Yep.
And so, Alex Smith is a guy that needs a lot around him, and if he does, then he's going to run that offense really well. If he has nothing, a bunch of guys that are just average or subpar, it's going to be difficult for him, and I think that's what we're seeing right here.
We talked about sort of this team identity. You mentioned there a little bit, where they got to play great defense, pound the football, and that's great, and they've eked out some nice wins here, but somebody sent me the stats, and I think it's something like, I want to get it accurate, but I think it's like 38 and 54 teams that are top 10 defense this year. That's their record. In other words, you got to be able to score points to win in this league.
Yeah, and that's why as soon as they fell behind on Sunday, you're like, oh boy, because if you have the lead and you're able to run the ball, you feel good if you're the Redskins. But if you have to come from behind and throw the ball a whole lot, they're just not built that way. They don't have the wide receivers who are going to get open every single time. Look in comparison, the Saints, everybody knew that Michael Thomas was the monster and they were going to go to him, and they continued to go to him and get what they wanted. The Redskins don't have anybody that they can just force feed at the wide receiver position and just be like, this is our guy. We're getting what we want. And so, they've got to get leads, and they've got to protect them that way, and it's going to be really hard for them now because coming from behind and throwing the ball all over the place just isn't their forte.
Mike, it looks like in New York, the draft Saquon, rely on Eli, upgrade the offensive line, the win now mentality that they thought would work in 2018, it's not working. They're 1-7. No. They've been outscored by 55 points. It's a disaster right now in New York. It's worse than last year.
Yeah, and everybody thought that Ben McAdoo was just a tool, and they just had to get a smart offensive guy in there, and they got Pat Shermer. But their problems definitely were way deeper than what anybody realized. And look, I know Eli gets killed a lot, things like that, but that offensive line is awful, really awful. Even though they supposedly upgraded it, it doesn't look like it. And I don't know, even if you had drafted Sam Darnold, he would be getting eaten alive back there. We're seeing him struggle right now. He had a good couple games, and then the struggles have set in. They just have to blow this whole thing up there and really do a better job of talent evaluation, because I think it's something about like maybe 3 draft picks in the last 6 years are on their roster still, and their free agent moves on defense have not paid off. They just are in a really bad way, and, like I said, they got to blow it up.